Okay, but Kinsey, it looks like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be iced out. What more can you tell me?
Well, can you blame America for icing them out? Here?
To celebrate the 250th birthday. But Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are set to be left out in the cold, lots of people are saying, and basically because they are no longer.
Hollywood circles and the American public have sided with the working royals, leaving Harry and Meghan overlooked, insignificant, and struggling to remain seen.
Joining me now is celebrity and royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, multiple sources have told Page 6 that the royal family will travel to the US.
The announcement didn't simply land. It erupted, a full-scale reputation-shattering blast that tore straight through Montecito and left Harry and Meghan looking as though they had been struck by a social nuclear shockwave. Overnight, every major outlet, from gossip sites to respected broadsheets, published the same brutally clear headline. The royal family is coming to America and the Sussexes are nowhere on the list. Not invited, not recognized, not even implied in the small print.
Now, the royal family is gearing up for a trip to the US to celebrate America's 250th birthday next year, but there's of course speculation that there will be no reunion with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
The fallout didn't end with the headlines. Within hours, the narrative had shifted from surprise to something far more degrading, an international spectacle that exposed just how far Harry and Meghan have fallen. The discussion wasn't why weren't they included? It was why would they be, and that quiet change in tone spoke volumes. The pair who once filled every magazine cover had gradually faded into background noise, and now the world was saying it openly.
50th birthday, Prince William and Princess Kate will be in America in July, while King Charles and Queen Camilla.
Diplomatic circles murmured about the polished optics of the tours, while American organizers quietly mentioned their desire for stability and decorum. Even entertainment commentators, normally eager for Sussex-related drama, appeared relieved that the spectacle wasn't being welcomed back. Meghan, who had built her second career on meticulously managed appearances, suddenly found herself witnessing the world's biggest stage being set without her name anywhere near the guest list.
In the cold, according to sources that told Page 6.
The world's biggest stage being assembled without her name anywhere near the guest list. What made it even more striking was the clarity of the palace's strategy. This wasn't avoidance, it was erasure by design. The royal household wasn't tiptoeing around the issue or offering vague explanations. They simply moved forward, confident and unbothered, as if Harry and Meghan were a past PR experiment that had run its course. And in Hollywood, where relevance is currency, nothing stings more than being treated as though you never mattered. The British monarchy had reclaimed America, and they didn't even need to raise their voices. All they had to do was appear without the two people who once believed they controlled the narrative.
Meghan have spent the last nearly 6 years disrespecting both parties involved here. At one point, they accused the royal family of racism, and Harry.
Before anyone could process the snub, another harsh truth was already simmering beneath the surface. Harry and Meghan's empire wasn't merely unstable, it was collapsing in slow motion. Netflix, which had once showcased them like prized new acquisitions, had fallen silent, far too silent. After the initial documentary frenzy faded, every subsequent idea seemed to flounder before it even launched. Industry executives no longer spoke of potential, they whispered of exhaustion.
In July, but no reunion, apparently.
Absolute 250th birthday bash for America.
Spotify's exit was even more damaging. A major streaming platform ending a partnership is one thing, but a senior executive calling them grifters on air was the sort of blow that doesn't easily heal. Meghan's attempt to rebrand through American Riviera Orchard only heightened the mockery. The Duchess, who once envisioned herself leading global philanthropy, was now selling jars of jam and monogrammed trinkets like a stylish Etsy shop owner. The internet didn't merely notice, it indulged.
Once said on a phone call with who he thought was Greta Thunberg that.
And so when the palace announced the royal tours, the timing could not have been more disastrous. Just as Meghan was attempting to revive her brand with homemade preserves and Harry was clinging to fading documentary concepts, the real royal stepped forward with a plan that made the Montecito ventures look embarrassingly small. The contrast was not subtle, it was devastating.
Trump had blood on his hands. Harry has become allegedly a pot-smoking pay-for-play royal speaking at a Hilton in Toronto next week, and Meghan is a...
The world saw two paths, one grounded in legacy and service, the other in sponsored hampers and discreet cancellations. And unfortunately for the Sussexes, reality isn't something you can alter in post-production.
At Windsor Castle, I was outside waving the Power Hour flag, as you know, and reporting on that. And during that visit, the President Trump invited King Charles and Camilla.
There was a time when Harry and Meghan stood at the heart of the global stage, ready to reshape the monarchy for the modern age. Meghan was intended to be the American star who combined Hollywood charm with royal duty, and Harry the Prince admired for his candor and humanity. Together they were meant to be the ideal fusion of tradition and modernity. The palace had laid the path, the world was watching, and the opportunities were endless.
A visit to celebrate the 250th anniversary. That is going to be a wonderful tour. Obviously hoping that the King is well enough because he's
But they wanted something different, something louder, flashier, and more self-directed. They walked away from the system that had once elevated them and believed they could construct an even bigger one on their own. They misjudged the strength of the institution they abandoned and overestimated the world's interest in a royal brand without the royal responsibilities.
Scares and so on and so forth. But they have been invited for this state visit in April, and they're gearing up for this star-spangled trip to...
Now the roles they abandoned are flourishing in the hands of people who prioritize duty over drama. The Commonwealth positions they dismiss so lightly are being carried out flawlessly by working royals who do not need camera crews to validate their service. The charitable projects they stepped away from have succeeded without any Sussex involvement. The saddest part is not that Harry and Meghan lost influence, but that the monarchy lost nothing at all. The machine kept turning, the roles were filled, the events continued, and the world adapted with surprising ease. The couple who once believed they were indispensable are now confronting the harshest truth. No one is irreplaceable when the institution is older than your entire family line. And that realization is beginning to hurt.
King Royals, that's the main sort of reason they're not going to be there. So the Declaration of Independence, well, they declare themselves independent from the working royals, and as a result...
What the palace revealed wasn't a schedule, it was a strategy. 2 tours, spaced months apart, designed to flood the American media cycle with royal presence from spring through summer. King Charles and Queen Camilla will oversee the formal diplomacy, the discreet discussions with leaders, and the cultural engagements that foster long-term connections. Prince William and Princess Catherine will bring the glamour, the charm, and the contemporary image that resonates worldwide. It is a masterclass in soft power, leaving no room whatsoever for Montecito interference.
That she spoke to. They didn't name that celebrity. Do you remember that? And I do know I've been out to Montecito, and I do know that they bumped into John Travolta there before.
Intro 14. The brilliance is in the timing. By the time the second tour begins, America will have spent months reconnecting with the monarchy in a way it hasn't since Princess Diana's iconic visits. The public will be reminded of the stability, continuity, and tradition the royal family embodies, the very qualities Harry and Meghan sought to dismantle in their quest for independence. The optics are remarkably polished. 2 couples united by duty, stepping onto American soil with poise and confidence. No scandals, no Netflix crews, no unexpected interviews, just the institution performing what it does best.
When they've been at the Polo Lounge as well. So it's a great place. The Polo Lounge is a great celebrity hangout. We're talking about bravery. So there's another quote here from this article where she's talking about her children and jam.
And in the background, Harry and Meghan will be left to watch as the country they once believed they control becomes the stage for a royal revival, one that does not include them in any way. The palace didn't need to push them aside. It simply moved beyond the noise.
I'm so sorry. What does that mean? That goes completely over my head, and it just goes back to the narrative that she's talking nonsense. I mean, really?
Meghan always believed America was her stage, her audience, her home field advantage. She crafted her persona around it, the relatable, modern American duchess who bridged 2 continents and redefined royal norms. She imagined red carpets stretching from Hollywood to Washington, journalists clamoring for her comments, and fans following her every move. But the harsh reality has arrived, and it is a nightmare she cannot spin.
She is with this project.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for that.
It's utter drivel. I completely agree. I just think that...
The American public has spoken, and its verdict is clear. Kate is the one capturing hearts and headlines, not Meghan, not even close. Every appearance, every handshake, every perfectly timed smile from Catherine will dominate the media cycle. Fashion editors, political commentators, and social media influencers will turn their attention to her. Hollywood elites will rush to secure invitations. Charities will seek her endorsement. Photographers will follow her every move, while Meghan's Montecito mansion remains devoid of the glamour she once claimed to command.
Of the situation is that she's doing nothing brave in her life. I mean, for 5 years, or almost 6 years, she's been out of the royal family. She's been said that she was gagged while she was in there. Clearly, she's not. I mean, she hasn't got any.
This is not just a blow to her ego, it is a complete dismantling of the identity she spent years building. Everything she showcased in her Oprah interview, every deal she struck with Netflix and Spotify, every suggestion that she represented the monarchy's modern future, crumbles under the weight of a single tour announcement. America is choosing tradition, elegance, and duty over spectacle and self-promotion, leaving Meghan behind. A duchess without a stage, a celebrity without an audience, and a narrative she can no longer control.
Nothing brave about what she's doing. And I think about some of the royal family members who, fought in wars or represented the country. That's bravery. Not posing for a photo shoot with Harper's Bazaar. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's two other things from there that we...
If Meghan's nightmare is losing America, Harry's is even harsher. A complete erasure. The country he once left now embraces the family he abandoned, lavishing them with attention, admiration, and relevance that he can no longer claim. His father will arrive commanding respect, his brother embodying charisma and continuity. The institution he once served will flourish without him, and he will be relegated to a mere spectator, no longer prince, no longer heir, and certainly no longer indispensable.
His childlike wonder and playfulness.
I think he would hate that.
Do you think he would?
I think he would hate that, yes. I think he absolutely
Because a couple of days ago she was showing the amazing footage of when he...
Harry, who once mourned being the spare, is now facing an even harsher truth. He is redundant. Every connection he nurtured, every charitable role he held, every ounce of goodwill he accrued has quietly been taken over by the heirs and working royals who never left the fold. William will manage the duties, the networks Harry painstakingly established will be used by others, and the respect he earned through service and presence has vanished. By stepping away, he has not only forsaken responsibility but also made himself obsolete in the eyes of the world he once aimed to impress.
And the alarm goes and he's the hero running off to jump in his helicopter, and then she's calling him childlike wonder and playfulness.
I think, if she did that while they were still living in the UK.
Hollywood, the glittering playground Meghan once believed she could command, is choosing a side, and it is emphatically not hers. When William and Kate arrive, A-listers will roll out the red carpet as if for the coronation of a new era. George Clooney, David Beckham, Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise all will vie for position, eager to associate with power and tradition rather than pity or scandal. Fashion icons, media moguls, and tech billionaires will compete for access, creating an aura of prestige that Meghan once imagined was hers to claim.
Portrayal of Meghan, definitely worth a read. Just before we move on from it, can you tell me about this? So she was makeup free, is that right?
Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan will be pushed to the sidelines, lucky to secure a Malibu brunch invitation or a fleeting headline. Hollywood does not reward grievance or manufactured victimhood. It respects influence, authority, and relevance. In this battle for cultural prominence, the Sussexes are already losing. The lesson is harsh but clear. Power attracts attention, weakness repels it. Harry and Meghan fought fiercely for freedom, convinced that leaving the monarchy meant liberation, autonomy, and a new empire built on their own terms. Yet freedom without influence is meaningless. They are free to do anything, but nothing they do resonates. The royal family dominates events, media cycles, and global headlines, while the Sussexes release artisanal jams, run underperforming podcasts, or stage private interviews that barely register.
Again, bravery. This is pretty ridiculous. I mean, this was a thing that in Hollywood probably 6 years ago was some sort of form of bravery, and you would, not have makeup on. I know Pamela.
Their independence has become a gilded cage. They cannot dictate events, shape narratives, or command the loyalty they once assumed was theirs by default. Invitations disappear. Platforms shrink. Influence evaporates. In this context, freedom feels less like liberation and more like exile, a quiet punishment for leaving the system that would have ensured they stayed relevant and celebrated. And so the inevitable question arises, what will Harry and Meghan do when the royals arrive in America? History and experience suggest they will act, but this time there are no winning moves. Any attempt to regain attention will seem desperate, an Oprah interview ignored, a charity stunt overshadowed, a product launch ridiculed. Trying to rival the royal events would be humiliating, and even showing up uninvited would only reinforce the narrative of irrelevance.
I just don't think, Meghan pared back. We don't want the physical pared back of her. We would love a little bit more about what she's actually going through, a little bit more transparency. And I think that she's almost using that to deflect from the fact
The monarchy has reclaimed the spotlight. The public is engaged with their story, and Hollywood is firmly aligned with tradition. The Sussex brand, already a shadow of its former promise, is on the brink of being shredded in the cultural machinery. This is not merely a snub. It is a decisive, almost poetic obliteration of the Montecito monarchy. When Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine arrive, the message will be as clear as it is cutting. You wanted freedom. Now experience it from afar, powerless and irrelevant, while the world goes on without you.